Hello, Ray Phoenix here, and welcome to Let's Play LEGO Star Wars Story Mode Part 6. This time around, we're going to escape from the Death Star. We've rescued the princess, and Obi-Wan already shut off the tractor beam, so now let's get the heck out of this place and leave in peace. Not in pieces, which is what they probably will be, considering the fact they're made out of LEGO, and they're going through a highly armed prison complex. That's pretty much also the enemy's stronghold as well, too. I know what I'm saying doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't make any sense. Why would they build a giant sphere to destroy planets? It doesn't really make much sense if you look at it that way. Actually, it does make a lot of sense. It helps keep their stronghold, their iron fist over the galaxy. But, of course, they're bad guys, so what do you expect? As I said before, since when did bad guys ever play fair? We know they never play fair. Not so why should we play fair? We should go in there, storm the place, and destroy as many of their enemies as possible. So right now we're in the garbage compactor, so 3PO and R2-D2 just saved our lives. So we have to build that thing to get up there, and we have to flip the switch. Why am I narrating every single thing? I don't know. And of course, be as destructive as possible, destroy as much stuff. We can't go in there yet, so we don't have C-3PO, but we'll have to do that in replay. So we have to destroy those tube things. So I don't even know what those tube things are. Are those like air things, oxygen things? We don't want the place to run out of oxygen when we're in here. Sure, it's okay if it runs out of oxygen after everyone else is, after we leave, that's okay, but not while we're still in here. So there's a large mound of massive stormtroopers below down there. So we have to be, cool. You have to be like Indiana Jones again and swing over here and swing over there again. Okay, you have to swing up there. Collect the studs again, as good as many studs as possible. Let's jump down here and look. We know Han Solo's a bit of a daredevil from what we've seen before in the movies itself, so we know he just runs into stormtroopers like, yeah. But of course, they were to make that in 2015 for Star Wars Episode 7. They would make a scene where he runs after stormtroopers like that, and then we hear a cracking sound, and he says, "My back!" And then old Han Solo falls over on his back. So Han Solo's an old guy now. He cracks his back when he runs. That's hilarious. Star Wars Episode 7 pretty much was this original Star Wars movie in 2015. It's not very original at all. It's very, it was very like, copycats. Like they're copying their own work. They really didn't have any other ideas. They really just made it so they could sell more toys. Yeah, because that's the reason why they still make Star Wars movies. It's simply so they could sell more toys and more merchandise. And back when it was George Lucas's thing, it was especially so George Lucas could have more money in his bank account. Come on, who wouldn't want a lot of money in their bank account, especially something like Star Wars? That's the only reason why George Lucas makes Star Wars movies. Heck, George Lucas doesn't even like Star Wars at all. He just makes it so he could make a lot of money, and so he doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about anything but his own wealth. Some people would say he should be a sinner for that. Some people may say he should go to hell for that or something like that. But then again, who's we to? Who's us to decide who goes to hell or who's not? That's the devil's job to decide something like that. I mean, he'd probably favor someone like Tammy Newborn or Chris Chan even, or someone like that. Not someone like George Lucas. But then again, people often forget George Lucas is the reason why we have Star Wars in the first place, and Star Wars has given people of all ages hundreds of thousands of hours of fun and all. So, you have to really thank him for that. Of course you should thank him for that. He deserves a lot of recognition for that and thanks for that. So you got that platform thing over there. So now we have to go get a stormtrooper mask so we can go through there and, continue storming this place, raiding this place, cause as much damage as possible. But, the Rebel Alliance should get gorillas or gorilla-like creatures that exist in Star Wars that storm through the halls of the Death Star and just smash everything. Or they should just hire a bunch of Wookiees from Kashyyyk and have them trash the place, because Wookiees are some of the greatest, strongest people around. When we first saw the Wookiees in that god-awful Star Wars Holiday Special. I've tried watching the Star Wars Holiday Special. It's really that bad, so I kind of gave up on it. And I don't really care. It sucks. It deserves to be forgotten. Like a lot of other things. But then again, there's a lot of things that are forgotten that don't deserve to be forgotten. Like Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi was one of Cartoon Network's greatest shows in my opinion. But a lot of people seem to forget that show. That show exists. But I think it's a really good show that shouldn't be forgotten. And then again, who's I to say? Who's for me to say that who should get forgotten or who should be remembered? I don't know what people remember. I'm not going to magically know what people will remember or not. I know people that forget obvious details. Sometimes my mom even forgets that I was born, and forgets I was born, and that's an obvious thing that happened to her 20-something years ago when I was born. So Sometimes people forget 9/11 happened. Sometimes people forget that there was a big war 70-something years ago. It was to say who remembers or forgets things. Some people don't even know, don't even remember, some people don't even remember people like Asterix, the French comic Asterix. Some people don't remember Mr. Bean. Some people don't even remember, when the original Star Wars movies came out. Heck, well, a friend of mine a while ago asked, if they didn't have CGI in 1977 when the Star Wars movies made, then how did they put all that CGI in the scene where they go through Tatooine? Well, that was added in the 1997 version. And they added even more of it into the 2004 version. Or, assuming that people are born dead. You mean there was a time where George Washington was alive? Yeah, George Washington was alive once upon a time. But some people may not forget that. Some people think that people are always dead. Well, if that's possible for a famous historical figure to be born dead, I don't know. And I don't really know how that's possible at all. This part's a real mess. We pretty much have to play Donkey Kong here. It's like in Donkey Kong Jr., or as they called it or as it should have been called on the Atari 2600, Donkey Gingerbread Kong and Donkey Gingerbread Kong Jr., since Donkey Kong and his son Donkey Kong Jr. were pretty much gingerbread men in one of the Atari versions of Donkey Kong Jr. I wish I could voice a gingerbread man in something. I think I'd be good for that role. I'd make him be like, oh no, that's Lord Farquaad, he just wants to be mean to me, like that. Kind of like Mr. Bill. I doubt any of you know who Mr. Bill is. Mr. Bill is hilarious. A lot of my friends refuse to accept the fact that Mr. Bill was once on Saturday Night Live. Well, he was on Saturday Night Live. It's true. Mr. Bill was on Saturday Night Live once upon a time. And yeah, a lot of people that I know liked Mr. Bill. And they made toys of him, of course. Mr. Bill pretty much is a toy, essentially. He's a rag doll, is what they call him. He's a clown, pretty much. It always gets crushed by Sluggo, and he's like, oh no, that's Sluggo, he just wants to be mean to me, like that. So in this part here, this part was a tricky scene in the movies. This is the first time we heard the Willem scream in the Star Wars movie. Yeah, Willem scream, I don't remember how it sounds exactly. It sounds something like that. And then they're shooting at stormtroopers from across the ravine, and then they hit one, and he falls over, and he's like, yeah, like that Willem scream sound. That's funny. My mom disagrees with me that the Wilhelm scream is actually a thing that exists. My mom's like, well, that's just a scream. What makes it different from any other scream? It's a pre-recorded scream that they just put into certain parts of movies, so it makes it different from other things. It makes it different from other screams. My mom doesn't really get the Wilhelm scream, because my mom's scream deaf, I guess you could say it. Every type of scream sounds the same to her, regardless of what type of scream it is. Whether it's a Wilhelm scream, or the Wilhelm scream is the only real scream that I know of. It was in Star Wars, it was in Indiana Jones, it was in Toy Story, it was in Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, it was in Gremlins 2, it was in... I'm sure there's a lot more movies I've seen. It was in Monster House, I think, at one point. I don't know, it was in a lot of movies and shows, so I'm not going to go through all of them right now because, well, there's just too much to talk about. We're about to get barraged by a bunch of stormtroopers. I hope you have your weapons ready, and I hope you got a spare pair of underwear, because you're going to be needing it after what we're going through. Look at that, stormtroopers galore. It's a whole army of stormtroopers. It would be cool if Obi-Wan was still with us on our team. Then you could just jump and do like a lightsaber force slam into them and destroy a bunch of stormtroopers. But what do you expect? Beggars can't be choosers. You know that old saying, beggars can't be choosers. Well, that's exactly what this is. I think we're going to get a true Jedi in this level. Yep, I think we will. We're like at 90-something%. So this part's another absolute mess. You see, they keep sending a barrage of stormtroopers after you. We have to flip these stupid switches and close them off, but then they don't stay closed long enough. When they shoot you, you have to start building that dang thing over again. It's real. This part makes you want to rip out all of my hair, and I'd be bald like Patrick Stewart after this. If I had to rip out all my hair after this. Or like Alec Guinness in this movie, because Alec Guinness was bald when he was in this movie, I'm pretty sure. Now look, Princess Leia's now just being a brain-dead vegetable, and she's not even letting me do anything. She's not even doing anything now. My friends are completely helpless. They're not real friends. They're just standing there like a bunch of brain-dead vegetables. If you're playing with a skilled second player, that actually would be an ideal to use. And you actually could do 2-player on the PC, but unless you have controllers, it would involve sharing the keyboard. Because the keyboard's that big enough, it could be shared, which would be impossible to use on a laptop, considering how my laptop keyboard is arranged. But it would definitely be possible if you're using a typical desktop keyboard. I actually did play this game on my Alienware laptop once upon a time at the Timer's God. Oh, and look at that! A true Jedi. We just got the true Jedi. So you see Obi-Wan's in there fighting Darth Vader. They're having a good old-fashioned ceremonial banging of the plastic toys up in there. Well, we have to go and get the Millennium Falcon out of that force field. We need the droids' help. The droids are somewhere nearby. Don't worry, the droids are nearby. And of course, everyone's relying on Luke Skywalker to save the galaxy, because Luke Skywalker really is the guy that saved the galaxy. Well, everyone else just pitched in. But Luke was the real hero in this movie. In the end, there's no doubt about that. There's absolutely no doubt at all. So there we go, we have saved our droids. I don't know how our droids ended up here. They were in that computer room earlier, but somehow they got all the way here. I don't know. It showed it better in the movie, but this is not the movie. If this was the movie, I don't know what I'd think of this was the real movie. Some people say this is a real movie, me playing Lego Star Wars video games, yeah. But nah, it's not. It's definitely not. So you have to go and rescue that Millennium Falcon. And remember, those things that have those construction, like yellow and black on the feet push, that thing up there has those on there. But first we'll use R2-D2 to activate that thing. So the Millennium Falcon's moved up a little bit, so it's a little bit closer to the surface. There's a few more switches, really just a bunch of flicking of switches, and occasionally you end up in a barrage of stormtroopers. So you have to keep shooting off, fighting off, fending yourself off. It would be more helpful if the computer players could actually do something useful, other than just standing there and mindlessly shooting blanks at the enemies. But I know it's not like a broken record, but it's true. That's a problem with this game. I think your computer players should be more useful than just simply, they just sit there doing nothing. But again, this game might not have a lot of challenge. And this game already, as I said before, this game already is pretty easy as is. It's not that hard of a game at all. It's really trying to figure out what to do. Figuring out what to do in this game is the real challenge behind this game. So we flick the switch again. It's about halfway up there. Of course, you're going to get more stormtroopers, but we have to get the droids for our help too. This is where C3. But the good thing about being the C3PO R2-D2 is these stormtroopers don't really attack droids that much, except for an Empire Strikes Back. Well, you'll see eventually when that comes around. But for the most part, stormtroopers don't really attack droids at all. That's Jawas and those goblin things from Harry Potter that do that. Not so much, Okay, so we're R2 now, so R2 is going to do his thing. R2 is also a pretty big hero in the Star Wars galaxy. I think everyone knows that. Everyone knows R2-D2 is a real hero. And so is C3PO, kind of, in a way. And C3PO helps add humor to the movies. He's a lot better at adding humor to movies than Jar Jar Binks did. I mean, why did they make Star Wars Episode 1 so comical and funny anyways? If I wanted to have a comical laugh at Star Wars, I would have watched Spaceballs instead. Spaceballs is really funny. So here's the final one, the final switch. There's Obi-Wan. Speaking of Obi-Wan, you know that Alec Guinness, the actor that played Obi-Wan in this movie, he didn't actually like being in Star Wars. Alec Guinness is a reluctant pop culture icon. He hated being in Star Wars. And for George Lucas, he was either going to get him or Toshiro Mifune, or whatever his name is, the Japanese actor. He was either going to get the Japanese actor to play Obi-Wan. But who knows, maybe that Japanese actor, whatever his name is, Toshiro Mifune, or whatever his name is, maybe he would have liked Star Wars more. Maybe he wouldn't have been so reluctant. But then again, if they got him to play Obi-Wan, then they couldn't have got Ewan McGregor to play young Obi-Wan in the prequels, because, well, how could you do it then? How could he change his race? Ewan McGregor's white and Japanese. You can't grow into Japanese when you can't grow into a different race. They told Steve Martin that in the movie The Jerk, that he'd grow up and be black when he grows up. There's Obi-Wan. See, Alec Guinness hated Star Wars so much, he told George Lucas he thinks Obi-Wan character would have been better if he was a guy that gets killed off and then becomes a ghost that helps Obi-Wan and guides Obi-Wan becomes a ghost that helps guide Luke through his challenges and struggles. So Obi-Wan pretty much died in this movie just because Alec Guinness didn't like Star Wars. Yeah, that's how much Alec Guinness hated Star Wars. He called it a bunch of fairy tale rubbish. Well, in the next video, we'll see the conclusion of Star Wars Episode 4, the first Star Wars story of this game. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.